Okay, everybody, so let's see what this full moon is bringing about for us. I'm glad I waited till it was closer to it to ask what we are meant to take from it, because everything is changing so rapidly and quickly. It's hard to know, and the energy feels different today than it did a couple days ago. And I will just say, I don't think I have any throat issues. I haven't experienced a sore throat or anything like that, and I have a very strange throat chakra today. I don't normally experience that. So it feels like things need to be expressed, It feels like these feelings are surfacing. These feelings are surfacing. And what I want to say when I read the masculine's white light message, and I've been feeling this a bit, that there's a lot of deep purging and pain on both sides, but maybe even more so, more heightened for masculines out there, some deep heart chakra wounds coming up, or being opened, being ignited, being highlighted. And the reason that happens or has happened or is happening is because part of the scales balancing out is healing the parts of ourselves that we have left untended to, unnoticed, the parts of ourselves that we have not shed light on. That's how the scales balance out, is they heal us through that. And in terms of sacred unions, if you will, or love connections heal us because they make us feel. So they make us feel parts of our heart that it's just like this idea with the heart chakra. It's like, if you want to block off your heart, not only do you block so people block off their heart because they don't want to deal with their heart chakra pain, which is totally understandable. I don't want to feel that, but when you block off your heart, you block off the positive things that come from your heart chakra as well, which is why processing the deep pain and wounds in your heart can be really a lovely, passionate, creative, it's this alchemy. If you open your heart, yes, you have to dig into those deep shadowy aspects, but when you do, you're opening your heart to the other aspects as well. And there's actually this beautiful blend of creation. When you keep your heart chakra blocked, you're preventing yourself from the color and beauty and feeling of life. You're preventing yourself from the darkness and shadows and feeling of life, but like I said, you're also preventing yourself from the light. So you're not letting the light in. If you're blocked off, you're not letting the light in. And the truth is that light, while healing, the white light is very healing. Letting light in can actually be painful because it's shedding light on things. It's shining a light in your darker corners. And so if masculines are feeling feelings, when you have romantic feelings or passionate feelings, it gets to them through their passion, through their longing or desire, and they engage those feelings because they feel guided to and feel unable not to engage them almost. And it's almost like a trick. It's almost like a trick of spirit to get them to feel. And then when they have these romantic feelings, it stirs up something deeper in them, a deeper pain. These spiritual connections really bring up old wounds and deeper pains because they make you feel so much. So if you're starting to let the light in because you're engaging this romantic, passionate feeling, then what happens is you're then letting the light into the other aspects, and then that's why it causes triggers. I don't even know if this is making sense. I hope. It's causing triggers, and it pushes you to balance yourself out. It pushes you to heal those deeper wounds, because it's like spirit led you into your heart space, and it does it to both sides, but spirit leads masculines into their heart space through their feminine by what he feels for her, how he's drawn to her, and it leads them into their heart space. And then they have to deal with what's in their heart space that they haven't necessarily been addressing or dealing with, if that makes sense. But that is the beauty of these spiritual connections. That's also why they don't let on to what they're feeling, because they're used to not. And they're used to sort of hiding it or guarding it. But there are romantic feelings here on both sides. And it's coming out with this Libra full moon, because Libra is a sign of partnership. It is ruled by Venus. It is a sign of marriage, a partnership, of love, of poetry. I always think of it as being a sign of poetry. I don't know why, but there are romantic feelings here, and it's very healing. ultimately what that can do for you. So on that note, let me read to you what came out for the masculines when I asked what is a bigger, larger message masculines are meant to take from this full moon right now? What effect is it having on them? They got number 11, the sacred scar. Your inner and outer scars are marks of your soul's courage. They are signs of strength and survival of your willingness to be alive. The sacred scar speaks of that which once caused pain, being transformed into higher knowledge and inner power. Old heart wounds that once caused pain, transforming them. Trauma shall be transformed through spiritual initiation, leading you from woundedness to wisdom. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You can trust your healing process and in the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. Yeah, trust in the hidden higher purpose behind things happening as they do. You are strong and you shall flourish on all levels. So masculines are working on healing that sacred scar, those old wounds, and it's highlighting her heart chakra here, right? There was another part. Yeah, you don't have to enjoy the process of growth, but you can always trust it has your best interest at heart. So I do feel that masculines are going through a process of growth, maybe feeling disoriented. It's a little bit unnerving because you're unlocking some deeper things, and it's a lot of energy. It's a lot of energy. So yeah, the oracle of the sacred scar lets you know that your greatest struggles are the pathway to your potential. You are not being punished. Those circumstances have not been imposed on you by spirit, but spirit will work with you to free you of negativities and bring you into the light, stimulating the sacred alchemical wisdom within your heart that knows how to distill goodness, grace, and healing from the most terrible experiences. So it's healing deep pain. If you are deep in suffering, know that spirit is with you. Proceed until you are exactly where you most want to be. So continue to follow your heart. And I guess that was it. Those experiences. Oh, this is what I did wanted to read something special here. Okay. Spirit also knows that sometimes we are to move through intense experiences before we can gain access to the light. Those experiences can teach us things only those who have truly suffered and brought their suffering to consciousness and healing can know. The lessons include compassion, wisdom, strength, and fearlessness, and faith in spirit and humanity, and recognition of the challenges of awakening whilst having trust in the ultimate power of the light. So it's important for masculines out there to know that, like, dark experiences that cause a tremendous amount of suffering, loss, they are a huge gift to us, and they allow us to be more in touch with the light and more in touch with our awakened state than are people who have not had traumatic experiences. Nothing against people that haven't had traumatic experiences. Like, I wish I was with you. But the truth is that if you have not, and so it's not an elitist group over here, okay? We're not like, oh, you don't know. But it's a little bit like that, because if you haven't felt trauma, like deep pain, trauma, or loss, you don't know what that feels like. And it's transcendent. You know, it has the power to be very transcendent. So the people that don't have to experience those traumas are happy at their homeostasis, if you will. Like, they can kind of they're okay where they are. Not that they're not going to experience trauma at some point in their life, but some of us have experienced more trauma than others throughout past lives. That's what these spiritual connections about. And you potentially, with your counterpart, have very similar past life pain and trauma that has also now mirrored and replicated in terms of the pain and trauma you've experienced in this life. And part of that pain and trauma too is about nurturing. I'm going to read this, but so I lose my train of thought always. The wildlife out here. But anyway, so, oh yes, sorry, that's what I was saying. That now with YouTube, I don't feel as inclined to rush, but so people that haven't had super painful traumatic experiences in this life, they're sort of okay. They live in a different realm than those of us that have, like, been plunged into the depths of pain and suffering. It changes us. It changes our consciousness. And that happens to so many different people in so many different ways. But while we may feel cursed in that sense that we had to experience such pain, we are also blessed because we have the opportunity to transcend. We have the opportunity to awaken, to, if we get plunged into the depths, it means that we are able now to like soar up to new heights that other people who have not been plunged into the depths, they don't quite have that ability to do that. And that's okay. Like I said, it's not an elitist club, but it's sort of this beautiful way of like spirit, you know, gifts you one way or the other. It's the scale is balancing out. So masculines need to honor their pain. So like true twin flames or light workers, masculines are light workers. They are highly sensitive beings. And they have perhaps experienced trauma in their life related to that, related to other things, and just being a highly sensitive person, it affects you in a profound way. And if you don't have the tools or understanding or nurturing or healing to get through that, it's a lot of layers to peel away to heal that sacred scar, you know, that sacred scar, and to embrace your feelings in a way where they can sort of begin to flow more, you know. But so for masculines out there, I think it's important for them to honor their trauma, honor their pain, honor their suffering, wear it like a badge of honor, you know, truly. Okay, so already 11 minutes in. Lasya of Parvati for the feminines. This is super Queen of Cups. Like I've been saying, also want to say Parvati apparently is a combination. She is like this triad goddess and she's meant to blend Lakshmi and Saraswati. And she was also the wife of Shiva. Just putting that out there. So Parvati is pretty powerful and she has a very Queen of Cups vibe. This just sort of explains this whole Queen of Cups thing I've been channeling or sharing with you that I've been getting. Here we go. Parvati. There is a gentler way to proceed and obtain the same or even greater effect. A gentler way. Tame the wild and frenzied workings of the mind by grounding yourself with beauty, pleasure, and grace. Violence and its negative effects shall be overcome and healed through feminine gentleness and inner spiritual strength. This oracle is a sign of great future happiness. So that's really beautiful. She's a very powerful motherly goddess. Parvati is the universal mother in her gentle aspect. Although, as with all mothers, her fierce side will emerge if it's needed to protect her children. She is beautiful and benevolent and evokes the qualities of love, connection, creativity, and devotion to a higher purpose. The divine goddess has many names. So, yeah, I guess that's basically dancing in the lights. But she's a pretty powerful goddess and she's very Queen of Cups. So divine feminines, this was your card for this full moon. And I've just been feeling Venus, the goddess energy, so much with this full moon, this pink full moon. And pink is a color of love, of unconditional love and light. That's the energy it vibrates at. And it's that Queen of Cups energy that she focuses on the qualities of love, connection, creativity, and devotion to a higher purpose. So that is so beautiful. That is where the divine feminine energy is right now. And what I like about the balance of that, right, is that divine feminines are potentially helping their masculines out there heal energetically through being in this energy of Parvati, of love, of trust, of divine purpose, of connection, of pink and white light. And divine masculines are healing their sacred scar. They're honoring their deeper wounds that maybe they have not embraced or honored throughout their life. And it's this beautiful energy because it's like their divine feminine in a way. Their Parvati is helping them. She may be the one that helped open up the wound or showed the wound, but she's also the one that can then help even energetically heal that wound through love and through this beautiful connection, you know, whether near or far. So that's pretty beautiful energy. So masculines are healing and feminines are healing as well, and healing by being in their loving energy, because I feel like a lot of feminines have potentially done some of that deeper pain work, which we're always doing it. Don't get me wrong. I never test spirit. I never want to test spirit. And I feel like it did that to me last week with my towers, because sometimes I'm like, ooh, what? I got this figured out for a minute. And they're like, no, you don't. Nope, you don't. But then it's funny because after they do that, they're like, actually, you do have it figured out. See, like we wiped you out, and then now we're showing you that you did know the truth actually the whole time. So it's this funny, weird mind fuck that spirit does with us, you know. Let's just pull. So let's just get into the meat of this reading here. I'll try not to have this be too long. I'm sure Destin's going to interrupt here. We've been having some arguments, you know, we're a little cooped up here. So I don't know if I should pull for masculine. I think I will. I'll pull, no, I'm just going to pull general. See, because things come out. So let's see what these are. Page of Swords. Masculines are observing, as usual. Oh, it's in reverse, but I don't like to read reversals. I'm not going to take it. I've been getting the Eight of Wands a lot. I posted it in my story the other day. So the Eight of Wands and the Seven of Swords. So, there's, you know, I roll my eyes at that Seven of Swords, but I'm not rolling my eyes at it because I feel it. It's happening. So the Seven of Swords is hiding, and you know there's a level of deception. I don't think it's super uber deception. I don't think there's like lies going on, like big lies that you don't know about. I think it's just ultimately, I always take the Seven of Swords ultimately as deception in terms of hiding greater feelings, which we're already getting that message here. And that's what the Page of Swords is too, right? Because this Page of Swords can be someone, you know, watching you or like investigating, like checking on you. And same with the Secret Admirer energy is very kind of Page of Swords. And the Seven of Swords is that someone has deeper feelings for you than they are letting on. They are not showing you that they have these deeper feelings for you. They're being deceptive about it. So, and then with the Eight of Wands, it feels like though that's going to change because something about this full moon is having a powerful effect. And I think it is in one way or another going to create movement forward, you know? So let's clarify that Seven of Swords because it's come up now more than once. So it's like, why does this person hide their deeper feelings? What is at play with that? Self-sabotage. Self-sabotage for sure. But what else? Let's pick one. What's behind that? Sexuality, interesting. Very interesting. Hole in the soul. So this feels kind of deep, but it's like there's a strong sexual desire, you know, here. There's always a strong, I need to pick up the pace here. I'm moving very slowly. I'm probably like boring the shit out of some of you. The energy feels real. The energy feels real and heavy. And I'm like paranoid I'm gonna get interrupted. But anyway, there's these deep spiritual connections, right? They highlight intense feelings of sexuality. And so I just feel like sometimes there's a retreat here because it's almost like too much, or it's too much. And it's definitely going to be too much because it has to be balanced with the feelings. It has to be balanced with a healthy expression of emotion or feeling behind it. These connections are too intense. It's almost like you're playing with fire. So like there may be an intense sexual attraction, and sometimes the masculine may feel moved toward that, but it speaks to the earlier part of this reading, how I said the feminine may be the source of the pain, or she feels like she's the source because she led him into his heart space. She led him into this cave, right? And look at this bitch too. She's like, come on, come in here. Come into your heart cave, fool. No, but it's like she led him into his heart cave, right? And through this passion or sexuality, the sexual energy brings it. Oh, and it's number 4, like the heart, right? And sometimes I think there can be like resentment or frustration projected onto the feminine from the masculine, as if she, like I said, as if she caused the sacred scar. She didn't cause the sacred scar. She didn't cause the pain. She's leading him into the part of himself where he is meant to feel that and heal that. She's not responsible for it, but the energy, like I said, spirit kind of lures the masculines through this attraction and passion. And first of all, like I said, there needs to be balance. There needs to be feelings, because otherwise the connection will just explode. It just is too powerful. It's an explosion of emotion. You can't control it. Even if masculines want to think they can control it and just be sexual, it's like they can't fully. It's an explosion of emotion, and you have to honor the feelings in order to be able to engage this very intense connection. There has to be more communication and understanding of emotional needs and feelings on both sides. It's like sometimes masculines, I think, are so worried about like, I don't want to meet or honor her emotional needs, and they're like, well, what about my emotional needs potentially in a sexual connection? Like, as masculines, like, you have emotional needs, like you have emotional expressions or things. So it's them realizing that. And then, just like I said, it's this, I get so many, I need to become a better channeler, just in terms of how I express myself, because I get cool messages and then I'm like not able to express them fully. But again, I lost the train of thought at some point there, but the sexuality is leading them, it leads them into their deeper feelings. It leads them into their deeper feelings. It's positive and alluring, but then it also tends to bring up pain. It brings up these old sacred scar wounds, but it's not bad. So I think that then masculines might hide, run, or reject it because they don't like that. They don't like those deeper feelings, but they're also probably meant to just heal them on their own, and they're okay to do that. But it's all about the scales balancing out for the connection and just for each individual. For this masculine to heal this part of himself, you know, that wants to like run and hide when he feels too much. Like you can't, you're not honoring like a balance there. You're not honoring your truth in that way. So, but like I said, I don't mean to be hard in that way, because everything happens for a reason. And so if a bunch of feelings are triggered within either party, but within the masculine, divine masculine, if a bunch of feelings are triggered, they may need to be alone to go do that and heal those wounds a bit and balance that out, you know, for themselves as much as they can. So that sexuality it lures them into their heart space for sure. It's like too with this, right? Like, look at him, he's trying to go. It's like, you can run, but you can't hide, fool. Like I always say, you can run, but you can't hide. You can't hide from your own feelings. You can't hide from your own feelings. Or you can for a little while, but not for very long. Resolving conflict. That's beautiful though. So there's some conflict resolving, and that can be between the two of you, but also just within himself. It's resolving that. And now the crows are out. It's resolving that conflict, that balance. So he's healing. The masculines are healing this energy, because they're being forced to. I like this too. Like, look, his heart. Does she have a light? Oh yeah, their hearts are connecting. See that? That speaks to, that image speaks to what I'm kind of saying about how the feminine, that goddess, like leads him into his heart space where all that feeling and pain is. Like she lures him in, and then he finds all these wounds in there and he has to deal with them and he's triggered. But like, look at their hearts connecting, like their hearts are talking. And that speaks also to the energetic connection that exists even when they're not together. So your hearts talk. Your hearts can talk, you guys. And it's like this balancing. It's like these hearts. Look at that too, right? The imagery with the hearts connecting. Here's the hearts connecting. Here's the heads connecting. Crazy. A lot of temperance vibes. Okay, so let's just pull a couple more cards and call it a reading. This feels quite deep though. A lot of beautiful, I don't want to say beautiful, because it is. Beautiful healing going on both parts. And it's both parts because you're connected. You learn from each other. Even when you're not together, you learn through this connection. This connection teaches you something deep. Okay, what do we need to know about this Eight of Wands? Is this coming in? What kind of action or motion is this happening here? Discover your life purpose. I like that too. It's very Libra. Like it's very like music, poetry, the arts is very Libra. But the sexual arts, you guys, number 33. I said, what is coming in? The action or motion. It's that sexual connection. And again, she's like very goddess-like. Like she's very Parvati-like here, right? Like he's like holding on to that divine mother goddess image there. And he's healing. He heals his sacred scar through this connection. Again, it's just another beautiful depiction of like this connection. It's like these images of energetic, how these connections are energetic. Even when they're sexual, it's an energetic thing, right? So let's just say, though, we have sexuality and sexual arts. Like sexuality, sexual energy is a big part of this reading today. It's a big part of the healing that's going on both sides. So there's action, there's motion coming. That feels like a reunion. That definitely to me feels like a reunion, like coming back together, potentially in a sexual way. There's a lot of passion there. And that's part of this win-win outcome being forecast, right? Because this looks like a win-win outcome to me. I don't know. But like I said, part of this sexual arts, right, is it has to have both. You have to have the feelings too. Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, true partnership, it has to be both. If it's an art, if it's a sexual art, it has to have feeling. It can't just be just raw sexuality. It has to have a balance. It has to have that balance of beauty and feeling. What else? It's kind of interesting doing these longer readings because it's just like you don't remember exactly what you say, you know? You're like, do I just keep going? I was also going to try to go live later. I always get kind of awkward when I try to go live. I get a little nervous. The crows, inner peace, beautiful, and love on the bottom of the deck. Inner peace. So I feel like there's a feeling of inner peace that's going to be coming for both parties. If you're not there yet, I feel like it's coming. I feel like the inner peace is a result. It's a result of going within, but I feel like it's a result of there's some conflict needing to be resolved, and we resolve it within ourselves first, but potentially conflict being resolved in the 3D as well, re-solidifying the spiritual connection, having a more positive cycle again. And I think there'll be inner peace. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of energy, but it feels like that means there's an energy of inner peace coming up for both. Oh, and this says you are enough. You are enough. I like that because sometimes when it comes to sexuality or just romantic, any type of romantic sexual connection, a lot of times people worry that it's a self-worth issue. They realize or worry that they're not enough, And maybe that's too, masculine's really healing this part of themselves, this sacred scar, and realizing that they are enough, that their wounds weren't meant to be a detriment. Their wounds were meant to teach them something. So let's just pull one little set here, one last little set for what's coming up, maybe toward the end of this week, after this full moon. I probably won't do a YouTube till next week now, but I do enjoy doing it, especially because there's really nothing to do, let's be honest. So what's coming up for these connections after this full moon? Oh, 2 came out. Nice. First of all, the Tower. I think there are going to be some shifts coming in after this full moon. Sometimes during the full moons are kind of peaceful, and it's like right now, sometime in the next hour or two. But I think that there will be a shift after. Part of the scale's balancing out. But so we have the 7 of Cups. So this masculine is one kind of caught in fantasy, as we'll get in his head, you know, with this sexuality and sexual energy here. There's a little bit of fantasy, but also him making a decision. Him making a choice coming up related to this union, right? We have the 4 of Wands. So, and it's interesting too, it's like leading into the heart space with that 4. Just, I got that image of her leading him into the heart space. So this union is coming together. The crows are confirming it. And I said I got an energy of union here. So there's an energy of union coming, but a choice being made. Before that, there's going to be more of this moon energy. I feel like a little bit unknown, a little dreamy, lost in emotions. But I feel like masculines are going to be pushed to make some type of choice. And the 4 of Wands is union, right? That's beautiful. That's foundational. And this 4 of Wands is pretty beautiful sign or card in terms of like Libra, because the 4 of Wands is all about partnership and love. So 2 final cards. What else do we need to know about this sort of Tower, the choice being made in this union coming together? That self-sabotage. Unleash your creativity. So this self-sabotage is a big factor here. I guess then my message to you, to anyone out there watching, although I feel that masculines do it more, don't. Don't self-sabotage. Remember that you are enough. I'm almost done, Dizzy. Remember that you are enough and you are worthy of love. You are worthy of this Four of Wands. I think that's why there's this indecision here. Because it's almost like you know what you want. You know what you want. You feel unworthy of it, or like it's not meant to be, or something about it keeps you from fully embracing it. And that can be to both, not just masculines, but feminines too. So trust in what you want. You know what you want. Do not keep yourself from having the things that you want, okay? Because there's a win-win outcome forecast. So trust in what you want. There's a balance taking place here. Look at that, as I said that. There's a balance taking place here, but you have to step into your self-worth, your self-love. There you go again. Sexuality again. Okay. Last card again. What do we need to know about the self-sabotage? We're going to fight it. We're going to fight the self-sabotage. No self-sabotage. The silver waterfall. Exactly. Oh, divine masculines. Divine masculines, don't self-sabotage. Let's look at this silver waterfall real quick if I can find it. Why don't these cards do the numbers on them? Desi, can you not? Oh, here it is, number 80. Perfect. Or page 80. What? The silver waterfall is, many people feel that they are always picking up on other people's negative energy and want to know how to protect themselves from this unpleasantness. They perceive the negativity to be out there and believe that if they could shield themselves from it, they would feel better. This speaks to the masculines and that sacred scar. The truth is that we all carry negative and positive energies, and we all have times in our lives when we feel low. To feel truly lovable and abundant, you need to be able to engage with whoever and whatever comes to you without feeling like you need some form of defense. Divine masculines, you don't need some form of defense. That's that self-sabotage. Not only does your aura or personal energy field experience the highs and lows of everything that's going on around you, so does your nervous system and all the cells of your body. You are like a finely tuned instrument that is constantly testing the atmosphere for anything unusual, unfamiliar, or threatening. It's all out there. But barricading yourself against the world is not the solution. The best way to stay balanced and healthy in a busy world is to raise your own vibration in as many ways as possible. This means eating nutritious food, looking after your body with rest and exercise, feeding your mind with uplifting material, beautiful music, books, movies, regular contact with nature, and cleansing yourself at the end of each day. This is done not to protect you from anything negative, but as the angels prefer to describe it, to release anything that doesn't belong to you and anything you don't need anymore. This can also be done by following the process called the silver waterfall. On the next page, it is most beneficial at the end of the day, so you don't go to bed with more than you need to. So it's just about cleansing. And you know what it is? That's what it is too, the silver waterfall. So that's really beautiful. I mean, that's crazy. But when I was getting ready earlier, I kept seeing the card in my head, rejuvenating rain. Rejuvenating rain. And that is the energy of the mother, water, the cleansing effects of water. So the silver waterfall is a little meditation. I'll post it in my story later, but it's just about envisioning yourself being cleansed by water, rejuvenating rains. That is part of healing this need to self-sabotage, healing this sacred scar within. And all of this is sort of healing right now as things are balancing out. So don't feel like you have to barricade yourself. By barricading yourself, you're just self-sabotaging. So that's masculines and feminines. So anyway, that's really beautiful energy, guys. I feel like there's a big shift coming with this full moon per usual. So peace out. Peace out, y'all. Hope this resonated.